I am back, and today I am showing you a genuine article, unlike my last video. So speaking of the last video, let's touch on that real quick. So only a handful of you got to see my last video because I actually pulled the video down after about 50 views. I thought that doesn't obviously mean 50 unique viewers. So the video was about basically Chinese made fake Gibson Les Paul copy. I bought a Les Paul Supreme copy from China, and I did a quick, actually it wasn't a quick video, it was a pretty long video. But after the video was uploaded, basically I decided to pull the video down as well as send the guitar back because there was a sentiment that buying and buying an illegal fake guitar was basically illegal. And I did some research. You know, it's basically 50-50 split. You know, some people say that it's okay, some people say it's illegal. But you know, for $200-something guitar, I didn't want that hassle. I didn't want to take a chance, so I ended up sending the guitar back. And those of you who watched that video, the guitar had some issues, which, you know, obviously I was going to spend some money to address that, and that was the whole point. But, you know, especially if it's going to come back and haunt me later, you know, it's just no real benefit holding on to it. So the video was pulled down. Even though the video was cut because of the fact that I wanted to show enough things about Chinese fake copies to inform others about what to look out for and such, because I see these fake guitars on Craigslist all the time, and you know, guy getting ripped off, thinking he's getting a good deal, you know. So that was the purpose, not because I was trying to advocate anyone selling or buying. You know, selling is obviously illegal. Knowing that it's fake, that is big no-no. So that, and you know, another point that I wanted to make was that, you know, obviously the guitar was not perfect, but it demonstrated how good they are getting producing these fake guitars. And I'll touch on that later in this video as well. So that was that. So I haven't. So this video, I'm seeing you in about 2 weeks here since my last video that still stayed up. Let's see. So today I'm showing you a Gibson Les Paul. You know, anybody who grabs a guitar, you instantly gravitate towards, you become a Fender guy or you become a Gibson guy. There are some intermediate there. You got your ESPs and Jacksons basically. But you know, Jacksons with the Super Strat, you're kind of falling on Fender side, and you know, ESP, if you're playing Eclipse, you know, it has a little bit of resemblance to Les Paul. Anyhow, so mainly the world is divided between the Fender guys and Gibson guys, right? You know, if your inspiration is Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix, you're going to gravitate towards, you know, Fender, or you're a diehard Iron Maiden fan, or, you know, what have you. Whereas, you know, the Gibson, you know, obviously the Slash fans and, you know, so on and so forth, you're going to gravitate towards Gibson. You know, I kind of thought about that, and I go, you know, I own 2 Fenders, no, 3 Fenders, no, 2 Fenders and 1 Squier, and slew of other Les Pauls. I think I own like dozen Les Pauls, ranging from Gibson to Epis and something else. So I'm gonna say that I'm more like a Gibson. You know, that I strap it on, I look at myself and go, wow, that looks kind of cool, right? And, you know, I can't play for shit, but it's the look that matters. Don't let anyone fool your kids. Anyhow, so that's, you know, that explains why I keep buying, you know, Les Pauls, and this one's kind of special to me, at least, right? I keep looking over there because that's where I have a little note of what I want to talk about. So this is a Joe Bonamassa model, signature Gibson Les Paul. Joe is someone that I not only admire, but he's like, to me, modern day guitar hero. I was talking to someone maybe about a year ago, and you know, the person said, you know, I see Joe on Guitar Magazine covers all the time, and I'm kind of sick of the whole blues rock thing. that's what the guy said, and I just couldn't get enough of it because, if you really want to trace the root of, even if you're a hardcore metal guy, I mean, things kind of derived from, blues rock, and fundamental understanding of blues really help you become better guitar players or what have you. So I couldn't understand why, you would get sick of blues rock, and because it's really tasty and, it's pleasing to listen, if you ask me. And back in the 80s and 90s, when I was a young man with more exuberance, I was real diehard, metal fan. And, even today, I definitely still am a huge metal music fan. But as I grow older, I noticed that I find appreciation towards other things such as blues rock, jazz, and even just straight up blues and what have you. So, Joe being modern day, this generation's guitar hero. In the past generations, we've had we had Jimi Hendrix's, we had Stevie Ray Vaughan's, Eric Johnson, Gary Moore, rest in peace. All these guys that, really passed the baton to each generation. And I truly believe Joe Bonamassa is this generation's true guitar hero. The man can definitely shred. I mean, just because he's a blues rock guy, you don't assume that he can shred. The man can shred just as well as anyone. And on top of that, I believe he's a very underrated singer. The man has quite a pipe. I've had the pleasure of seeing him in a concert once. So, tremendous respect, right? So Joe Bonamassa's signature Les Paul came about, I think 2008, 2009, somewhere in that range. I believe it was also a very limited run. I think it was a custom shop model, maybe 400, 600 total made. Phenomenal amount of dollars to get one of those. But basically, Joe being a son of a guitar store owner back in the early days when he was young, and he basically grew up in the guitar shops. And, based on his recollection, they, put this model together. And it's got some quirky features, which I'll talk about. But anyhow, so that model was introduced. But, I mean, the money that guitar demanded, it was, for a common man like myself, that it's just not possible for me to spend that kind of money on that guitar. As well as, if I was going to unload that kind of cash, I don't know, I'd probably go for some other model of Gibson vintage guitars or what have you. So that was really difficult. But last year they did again, limited run of, I believe, 1,000 Epiphone version of Joe Bonamassa signature Les Paul. So it had the, different, a little bit lighter specs, but Joe's input. The guitar sold basically like 2-3 days after it became available to the dealers. It was just gone. But it was at a pretty decent price point that you would expect from Epiphone. But I don't know if it's a marketing spiel or not, but when you listen to Joe's interviews, he says, hey, I wanted to make cheaper version of the guitar so that kids can walk into a guitar store and grab a nice guitar at pretty cost-effective price point and enjoy. Well, because the Epiphone model was sold in like matter of days, basically what he's saying in recent interviews is that he wanted to do a cheaper version of Gibson flavored signature model as well. Hence, we have this model, which is the Gibson Les Paul Studio version of Joe Bonamassa signature. So it doesn't have the other features from the custom shop model, such as the binding around the neck and the body. Doesn't have the aged look on the body and such. But I'm gonna tell you, never say never, right? Because a lot of people always message me saying, hey, should I get a high-end Epiphone or the $799 Gibson Les Paul Studio? And I always tell them, look, go get yourself the high-end Epis. If you can deal with the made in China stuff, then I believe fit and finish is better on the Epi versus the you know, faded dark cherry finish of the cheap Les Paul Studio that you find at Guitar Center for $7.99. But this is a Studio. Now, what I should have said was that I wasn't a fan of the $7.99 Les Paul Studio. That's just a slab of mahogany with no maple cap, no real finishing. That's what I didn't like. I guess it wasn't that I didn't like the Studio. Ones with the you know, proper glossy finish with the maple top on it, you know, those I got nothing against. So when I was considering this guitar, obviously I looked for reviews and other people's opinion. None, not many you can find as of today. So this may be one of the first few quote-unquote review or chat on this guitar that you will find from non-Gibson person on YouTube. So I was a little bit hesitant because, again, I was buying a guitar that was a sight unseen, and I didn't know how much of downgrade I'm getting from the custom shop model. So here we go. So let's talk about the spec, right? So as I've shown you on the pictures, it's got the gold top, which is, this is the only Gibson Les Paul Studio model that comes in gold top finish. Otherwise, you're getting other like black or white or, you know, whatever. So the gold top finish is very smooth, very butter-like, very nice. And you got the Joe signature, you know, mismatching knob with the black appointments here, black pickguard, black ring here, and black toggle switch knob. And I didn't take the plastic off of here yet. And black pickup cover ring, solid black body. No, there is no mahogany stain that's visible here. It's just black. And black paint in the neck, no binding as I said. The open book Gibson headstock and Grover tuners. It's just nothing special. It's just regular Grovers, no locking, nothing like that, with the kidney buttons. And Joe Bonamassa autograph right here on the truss rod cover. So that's that, and Burstbucker 2 and Burstbucker 3. And I'm actually a big fan of this pickup cover look, because the other two Gibson Les Paul traditionals that I have, they have the open look. They're naked. So I definitely dig the look. And stop tail. Now, if you look at Joe's actual guitars, you'll see that the stop tail piece is screwed down all the way down where it's actually touching the body, because Joe feels that it gives you more resonance, more sustain, and better tone with the string vibration directly traveling to the body and such. So this one isn't done like that. It's a setup just like a normal Les Paul. So what I'm gonna do is actually tighten this down all the way down and do the loop around stringing just like Joe does. So that's what I'm planning to do. You know, I'm not a huge fan of this look, the chrome look on, tuner look on Les Pauls. Might want to change that to like a vintage tulip kind. But I don't know if I have to end up drilling another like different holes on the back of the headstock here. So that might not happen, but that's what I would like to do eventually. So coming back to the pickups, these guys are scorching hot. They are sizzling hot. I was really shocked. So, but they're very versatile. When you turn the knobs down, they clean up very nicely. So again, the difference between this and the custom shop model that I've already gone over. And let's talk about the weight of this guitar. So when I got this guitar out of the case, I felt it's a little on the light side. Perhaps I had that assumption because I knew it was a chambered mahogany body. It's weight relieved by chamber. So that's what I felt, and I decided that I would actually measure the weight on scale. So here's what I found out. It's kind of shocking. So I pulled out a couple different Les Pauls that I have. And those of you who watch my video, you know I have a lot of different Les Pauls. So I'll give you some base reference point. They say, you know, the perfect Les Paul is somewhere between like 8.5 to 9.5 pounds, right? So the Edwards standard that you see right here, this is an ESP Edwards copy. This Les Paul, which I felt was really light, and I was sure it was the lightest Les Paul I had, it clocked in at 8.25 pounds. Epiphone custom Les Paul that you see here, that thing weighed in at 9 pounds. And then Gibson traditional gold top that I have, that clocked in at 9.5 pounds. Epiphone slash gold top that I have, that actually I knew it was a light guitar, and that clocked in at surprising 7.6 pounds. So that is a very light Les Paul. And this Les Paul right here, which I felt was kind of light, it clocked in at even 10 pounds. So, you know, so much for me saying, wow, this guitar feels light. Well, that wasn't the case. It is actually the heaviest Les Paul that I own, and has a tone that is thick and throaty and chunky, all going at the same time. It's got sustain for days. One of the sound sample earlier, you know, granted the gain was dialed in on the amp, but I mean it's got sustain that will just go on and on and on. So obviously some of that has some to do with the weight as well. The neck is definitely chunky. It is right around the slash Epiphone Les Paul that I have. It's like a baseball bat cut exactly right down the middle. So that's how chunky the neck is. I myself prefer somewhat thinner neck, like the 60s or the asymmetrical, like I have on my traditional. So there you go. That's the Gibson Les Paul Joe Bonamassa studio model that I have acquired. You know, the new guitar day is always exciting, right? It doesn't matter how many guitars you got. It's an exciting day. By the way, if anybody wants to know, the fretboard is rosewood and it's an acrylic inlay. They do not mention this is plecked. You know, the Gibson high-end guitars come with the whole pleck setup, you know, whatever, right? It's love and hate kind of relationship. Some people love the pleck thing, some people hate the pleck thing. Only pleck thing that they mention about this guitar is that the nut was pleck cut. So that's what I got to say about that. So there you go. As to when my next videos will be up, just so that, you know, I give you guys some heads up. And also, a lot of you didn't get to see what I said on my last video, which is now pulled down. I'm kind of really jonesing for some vintage flavor Les Paul. Whether that, I won't be able to afford any, you know, 1959, anything like that, but something that's got history, you know, whether that's VOS, whether that's reissue, whether that's like something from late 60s or early 70s, genuine article. That's what I'm really jonesing for. So I'm going to actually save up some money until I can get one of those. So there may not be a new guitar chat in foreseeable future. Although next month or so I'll be buying one guitar that is not so expensive. So that I will do a video for you guys. Because I enjoy this thing, right? Even though it's like a one-way communication. I know there's some of you out there. I have like over 800 subscribers. I mean, figure that. So I know it's you know, I feel like I'm communicating with you guys, even through comments and such. So there you go. And then there are two super epic videos that I'm putting together. Both will take significant amount of time, and one of them require cooperation from some others and such. But it'll be like none other. So definitely something to something to keep an eye out for. So that's what's going on in my world, and I hope to see you guys soon. Until then, you guys take care.